Billions in Social Security back pay, California's rail project under federal fire, and the debut of our exclusive podcast extra. Plus today's trivia question: which U.S. location is the most filmed location in the world? This is a great question because I love watching movies, and I'm going to hold my guess until the end of the show. It's Thursday, June 5th. This is the Flyover Podcast. Welcome to the Flyover Podcast, taking you above the noise for an unbiased, high-altitude view of today's headlines with daily coverage that's honest and refreshing. Let's cruise the news and land the facts. Good morning, everyone. I'm your weekday host, Ayla Brown, and today's a big one. We're officially launching our brand new podcast extra section. So starting today, you will get exclusive stories you won't find in the Flyover newsletter, only here on the podcast. They're important headlines, deep dives, and sometimes the stories that just didn't make the written cut, but are too good not to talk about. So stick around because Podcast Extra starts today, and it's only available to listeners like you. I'll tell you when we get there, don't worry. In the meantime, let's take off. First up, the Trump administration is threatening to yank $4 billion in federal funding from California's high-speed rail project, calling it a, quote, boondoggle, after a 315-page federal review flagged cost overruns and delays. Originally planned as an 800-mile line from San Francisco to Los Angeles, the project's now just a 119-mile Central Valley stretch, already $35 billion over budget with billions more needed. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy gave California just 37 days to prove it's worth saving, while state leaders, including Governor Gavin Newsom, argue the feds are misrepresenting progress and ignoring state funding commitments. Next, the Social Security Administration is delivering $14.8 billion in back pay for nearly 3 million Americans, processed for 91% of those impacted by the Social Security Fairness Act, signed in January 2025. The law scrapped the government pension offset and windfall elimination provision, which had cut benefits for public workers like teachers and police officers with pensions from non-Social Security jobs. Monthly payments are up by $700 on average for spouses and over $1,100 for surviving spouses. Finally, Cologne, Germany pulled off its biggest evacuation since World War II on Wednesday, clearing over 20,000 people to defuse 3 massive U.S. bombs from the 1940s found during road work. The 0.6-mile evacuation zone shut down homes, 58 hotels, 9 schools, a hospital, and Rhine River shipping. Bomb squads neutralized the devices in just over an hour, despite a brief delay from a stubborn resident who refused to leave. Authorities warned holdouts of fines or forced removal, and the operation disrupted weddings, commuters, and cultural events. Here's what's happening in politics today. President Trump revealed a 75-minute phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin discussing Ukraine's recent drone strike on a Russian airfield. Trump warned that Putin's promised retaliation could delay peace talks, stating the call won't lead to, quote, immediate peace. Next, a federal judge has blocked the deportation of Mohammed Solomon's family. He's the terror suspect from Colorado, ruling they can't be removed from the U.S. unless a higher court steps in. The Trump administration delayed a tariff increase on UK steel and aluminum from 25% to 50%, giving the UK until July 9th to finalize a May trade deal. This move shows Trump's willingness to use tariffs as leverage, but will it strain or strengthen the U.S.-UK relationship? Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei called U.S. demands to curb Tehran's nuclear program rude, asserting that Washington, quote, cannot do a damn thing to stop Iran's enrichment. With Trump threatening severe measures, including potential military action, this escalation could reshape Middle East dynamics. Back at home, a surprise political shakeup. Former White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says she's leaving the Democratic Party and will release a memoir this fall outlining what she calls a, quote, broken Biden administration. And finally, President Trump is calling on the Fed to cut interest rates after last month's job numbers came in soft. It was the slowest private sector payroll growth in more than 2 years. If you want to hear more about these stories or any stories in the podcast, head to jointheflyover.com and sign up today. We are brought to you today by Native Path Collagen. I actually have been taking Native Path Collagen for the past 4 weeks, and I'm finally seeing my hair grow back after having my second baby. Honestly, I didn't expect to notice a difference so fast, but here we are. I could show you, but I don't want to ruin my hair right now. It's all hairsprayed. Native Path is made with only type 1 and 3 collagen fibers, which make up 90% of the collagen in our bodies. Think skin, hair, joints, nails, even gut health. What I love is that it's a single ingredient formula. No fillers, no additives, no artificial sweeteners, just pure collagen that's been third-party tested for heavy metals, so you know and I know that it's safe. And because it's a peptide formula, it's more bioavailable, meaning it actually absorbs better in your body. I actually put it in my coffee every single morning, and there's no taste, no clumps, no hassle. Over 4 million jars sold, 8,000 five-star reviews, and they even offer a 365-day no-risk guarantee. Plus, they've got real people on standby. Yes, actually, real humans to answer any questions that you have. If you want to try it out for yourself, head to getnativepathcollagen.com/flyover. That's getnativepathcollagen.com/flyover. Or if it's easier, just click on the link in the description below. Welcome to the very first edition of Podcast Extra. Starting today, everyone who listens to the Flyover Podcast gets access to a special section of stories you won't find in the newsletter. These are curated just for you, whether it's politics, pop culture, or the stuff that's just, too weird or wild to leave out. But here's the deal. You have to listen every day to get them. No skipping class, no cheating off the newsletter, just good, exclusive stories like these. The U.S. Education Department just called out Columbia University for allegedly violating civil rights laws, specifically by not doing enough to protect Jewish students after the October 7th Hamas terror attack. According to the report, Columbia showed, quote, deliberate indifference to harassment and now faces a possible review of its federal accreditation. The ball is now in the accreditor's court, and if Columbia can't fix this, it could put their eligibility for federal funding at risk. As of now, Columbia hasn't made a public statement. If you're a UFO junkie, which I am not, by the way, this one's for you. The Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office is stepping up its efforts to declassify and share more UFO data. Out of 1,800 cases, most are just drones or birds, but a few dozen of them remain unexplained. What's new is that President Trump has reportedly given the green light for, quote, radical transparency. So whether you're a skeptic like me or you've got your own alien encounter story, this could be the start of something out of this world. And if you've been to a wedding recently, or maybe you're planning one, listen up, okay? The biggest trend of 2025? Making weddings more you. Think ramen bars, temporary tattoos, and wellness breaks instead of those standard buffets and seating charts. Apparently, no one wants those anymore. Film photography is totally in. Oversized guest lists and cheesy photo booths, well, those are out. It's all about authenticity, sustainability, and making the experience feel meaningful, not just Instagrammable. So if your wedding invite says, no dress code, come hungry, don't be surprised. I actually personally love this. My husband and I had a backyard wedding at a barn, had food trucks, and a band playing the oldies hits and a bunch of cornhole sets in the corner. Thank you for tuning into the podcast extra section. I will be doing this every day from now on, and Amy Hess will be doing them on the weekends. So keep coming back for those special headlines. Coming up, only one American made ESPN's top 100 soccer player list. Who is it? And TikTok is cracking down on content tied to body image. It's all coming up. Here's what's happening in finance. Lyell Immunopharma shares absolutely exploded on Wednesday, up 69% after early data from one of its cancer therapies showed serious promise. The FDA also gave the treatment a special designation, which helped fuel investor hype so strong it temporarily paused trading due to volatility. Amazon just dropped a major announcement. The company is investing $10 billion to build new data centers in North Carolina. It's part of Amazon's larger $100 billion push into AI infrastructure. Big numbers and a big move for the Tar Heel state. Next, Wells Fargo is officially off the leash. Regulators have lifted the $1.95 trillion asset cap that's been in place since 2018. Remember, that was after the fake account scandal. Investors liked what they heard. Shares jumped nearly 3% in after-hours trading. And lastly, Uber has rolled out new senior accounts across the U.S., making its ride-hailing app easier for older adults to use. These specific accounts will feature larger text, easy-to-follow directions, and fewer buttons. Users can also save places for quick access to frequent destinations and pay with a personal card, a family member's card, or a Medicare Flex card for eligible rides. If this sounds like something that may be helpful to you or a family member, read all about it in today's email edition of The Flyover. Sign up for free at jointheflyover.com. Here's how the stock market did yesterday. The Nasdaq inched up another 0.32%. The S&P 500 barely budged, ticking up just 0.01%. The Dow Jones slipped 0.22%. Bitcoin also took a slight dip down to 0.44%. And gold is climbing again, up 1.38% to $3,396 an ounce. That's your daily market snapshot. More updates tomorrow. How about these sports headlines? Coco Gauff is powering through at the French Open. The number 2 seed overcame 10 double faults yesterday to beat fellow American Madison Keys and punch her ticket back to the semifinals. She's set to face France's Louise Boizon today, who, fun fact, entered the tournament ranked number 361. So, yeah, it's a bit of a Cinderella matchup. Over on the soccer pitch, Christian Pulisic just got a major nod. He's the only American to make ESPN's list of the top 100 soccer players in the world this year. You know, with the U.S. getting ready to co-host the World Cup in 2026, that spotlight's only getting brighter. Some sad news out of the NFL. Minnesota Vikings icon Jim Marshall has passed away at the age of 87. He was a legend not just for his play, but for his Ironman streak. 282 consecutive games, a record that stood for decades and is still only second to Brett Favre. And here's one for the Vatican City trivia books. Some Chicago White Sox fans are making a lighthearted pitch for Pope Leo XIV to adopt their team. You know, since he's originally from the Windy City. So could we see rosaries and rally caps? I don't know. Only time will tell. Here's what's going on in science and technology. Let's kick things off with a fascinating new theory called neural renaissance. Scientists now believe our brains may actually sync to music, like literally our brainwaves fall into rhythm with a song's beat or pitch. That's why certain songs just hit you right. The theory suggests that when rhythm and tone match our natural brain patterns, it creates a sort of musical satisfaction that feels instinctive. Basically, your brain has a groove and music knows how to find it. Meanwhile, TikTok is cracking down on content tied to unhealthy body image. The platform has officially disabled search results for the hashtag, quote, skinny talk, and tag critics say promotes disordered eating and unrealistic body standards. Now, if you search that term, you're redirected to mental health resources instead. This is part of a broader push to make social media a little less toxic, especially for younger users. For this Throwback Thursday, we're flying through time, literally. Between 1976 and 2003, about 2.5 million lucky passengers boarded the Concorde, dining on caviar and sipping vintage champagne while soaring at twice the speed of sound. In a more personal nod to nostalgia, one bride reimagined her mother-in-law's 1992 floral wedding dress into a chic mini dress for her welcome party, keeping the original neckline and embroidery as a sentimental statement. And if you're feeling extra nostalgic, we've also got a stunning photo roundup from 1963 capturing everything from iconic fashion to pivotal moments in American history. Head to the email edition of The Flyover to experience it all. Still to come, a mysterious 9-foot doomsday fish just washed ashore in Tasmania. And while scientists say it's probably nothing, well, history and a little folklore suggests otherwise. Coincidence or a warning sign? I'll explain next. Here are some extra stories that we couldn't pass up. A newly installed webcam at Yellowstone National Park's Black Diamond Pool captured a sudden burst of mud and hot water erupting from the thermal spring. These hydrothermal features are common in the park, but this one surprised even seasoned park rangers with its intensity. The pool is part of the Upper Geyser Basin, an area known for unpredictable geothermal activity, and the footage is now making the rounds online. Down in Tasmania, a rare 9-foot oarfish washed up on Ocean Beach, drawing crowds and sparking buzz. Here's why. These deep-sea creatures, often called doomsday fish, have a reputation rooted in Japanese folklore as harbingers of earthquakes and tsunamis. Now, scientists say the connection is mostly superstition, but the last few oarfish sightings did precede major seismic events. So my question to you is, do you believe in superstitious folklore? Leave a comment in the comment section, because I think I do. I don't know about you, but when I get to the poll section, I start feeling a little giddy. Like we're all having fun. We've all made our votes count. Hopefully, if you haven't yet, what are you waiting for? Let's go over the results and the question from yesterday. Hearing a dog could cost $60,000 made me feel. 36% of you said worth it. 29% said don't care. 20% said that's a luxury SUV, and just 9% said cheaper than a kid. 6% said I need a hamster. I don't blame you. But here's the poll question for today. Once again, vote at jointheflyover.com. I'll read the answers in tomorrow's show. When do you respond to text messages? Immediately? When I have time? Depends on who it's from? Or other? I think I might tell you the answer to my vote in tomorrow's show as well. You're going to have to come back for that. All right, you guys, it is trivia time. Which U.S. location is the most filmed location in the world? Oh, the answer is New York City's Central Park. That is the most filmed location in the world, featured in countless movies and TV shows. Its stunning landscapes, iconic sights, and the skyline backdrop make it a favorite for filmmakers, despite Hollywood being nearly 3,000 miles away. By the way, I can totally see that. Here are some fun movies that were filmed in Central Park: Breakfast at Tiffany's, Avengers, Home Alone 2, When Harry Met Sally, and my all time favorite Christmas movie, Elf. Whether you're watching the Flyover podcast from Central Park, somewhere in the flyover states, or maybe from a beach on the coast, thank you for tuning into today's headlines. I hope you learned something new and will share the show with a friend. And don't forget, tomorrow we've got even more content coming your way in the podcast extra. So stay tuned and thanks for flying with us.